Jeff Townsend Media. It's a huge, incredible, tremendous platform. It's not stupid and it's not fake news. Lots of money. Believe me, it's the best.
Oh gosh, I don't know why I love that so much.
It's great.
I'm gonna try something real quick. How are you doing, dude? As we let
Good.
people file in here.
Yeah, I'm doing good. I've been watching a new horror series on Netflix called The Terror. It's pretty good. It's about it's like a supernatural version of the events of a lost expedition to the Northwest Passage in the 1800s. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's really good. Really well acted. Ciarán Hinds, he used to play Julius Caesar in the Rome TV series a long time ago on HBO. He's in it. It's just really, really well acted and kind of scary.
Sounds pretty scary. Let's see if I can get this last thing set up here. We're going to connect here with TikTok, but if we can, but we will have to kill it when we go into the video I'm going to share, because if not, it will just plain old simple give me a violation. It loves to do that. You know, I don't know why, but it really gets a kick out of it. We'll see if it'll even work here.
We got our producer in the chat already. So
producers in the chat. I don't know who else. I don't know. We'll see. We got people on every platform but Kick right now. I've been just sending it to Kick. I really don't. There's a lot of people on there, right? But I personally have never watched anybody on there or anything. But yeah, we've had a few people watch it and they comment every now and then, but I don't know who they are. I think it was the last time they said, if you burp, I'll send you a gift. Of course, I didn't even see it right because it's not connected to this. So I saw it later. I'm like, yeah, well, sorry, that doesn't do you much good. I don't know if this is going to work, but I tried. Try one more time
to get it onto TikTok.
I'm trying. I
was thinking about that movie the other day. Wait,
I guess what?
I'm assuming we're talking about the same movie. The John Boy movie, Walton's Christmas.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm trying.
I really am trying pretty hard though for this. It's just not. It's not going with it.
Yeah.
Try one more time. Tickety talk. TikTok hates me. Every time I share one of our videos on TikTok, it automatically says it's not eligible for the For You page. Automatically. Like I put together that Wendigo thing.
Yeah.
I posted it. Automatically, it's like not eligible for the For You feed. I'm like, what did I do?
I don't understand.
What did I do to you guys? You know, like
TikTok is weird. Super weird.
You would have thought I've done something very bad to them, but
yeah,
I don't know.
They ban people for like no reason too. Sometimes it's like really strange.
Oh yeah, they love to ban people for no reason. We're giving it one more second here. We're going to get going. So we're going to do the usual. I will have 2 stories tonight. Oh, you hear it? It's working.
Yeah. It's like
oh, you hear it? It's working. Hell yeah. Got to figure out how to kill the sound.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Got to figure out how to kill the sound.
Yeah.
The sound's not even on.
That's
Can
weird.
You hear me?
I don't hear the echo anymore.
Yeah, we're good. The sound wasn't even on. I just turned it back on and off. All right, we'll get going here. Are you ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
All right. This is Jeff Townsend, and you are tuning in for yet another live stream of Your Scary Stories, this show where we share your scary stories or a collection of scary stories from around the web. Of course, joining me as usual is Luke. How are you doing on this Labor Day event?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
I don't know what I'm saying. How are you doing on Labor Day today, Luke?
Pretty good. Had day off. Just been enjoying it.
Same here. Doing the dad thing. Finally got everything timed out in time just to be able to do the stream. We are way freaking late tonight. So if you are on tonight, you are a true trooper, because are we about like 45 minutes later than we normally do?
Yeah.
But we didn't want to miss it. So we are going to go ahead and proceed with things. We're a little bit late, like I said, but this is coming off the back of another great episode last week where we shared that ghost face peeking around the door hinge. That was great. You had some crawler stories too, and it was the yellow raincoat, right? Was the last episode?
Yeah, that was it was a banger.
Yeah. Dude, that episode is a banger. It's going to be a difficult one, but like I said, we're going to do the usual. I will have 2 this evening. The second one will be a video one. And if you are watching this on TikTok, I'm sorry. When that hits, that my second story of the night, you're going to get booted off because, hey, it'll hit me on a restriction. It'll try to ban my. So, but it already shadow bans you because it hates everything we do. It hates the scrolling things on the bottom, everything like that. So it automatically restricts us on TikTok.
It's so ridiculous.
It is. But you're hanging in here on every other thing but Kick right now, so we're happy. Luke,
Yep.
I said you're going to do 3 stories tonight, which you have been, but you're going to have the starting off the first story this evening. Producer, do we sound good or anything? Fashionably late, gents. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we sound good. Let me start queuing up music. I can't hear you yet, but I'm going to hear you soon.
Yeah, oh, you hear me now, right?
Yep, I can hear you now, dude.
Okay, cool. The music sounds good to me, so I'm going to launch into this. This is Irish Fox. About 9 or 10 years ago, when I was around 7 or so, me and my family were out with our dogs in the Curragh, just walking dogs off their leads. Curragh being a field or plains for sheep and rabbits and fox. We were running around the big thistle bushes looking for rabbits and climbing on those big metal gate things that they use for horse races. I don't know what time it was, what time of year it was, for context of when it gets dark, but it was probably around 8, maybe closer to 9 p.m. We'd been there for maybe an hour or so, and we were walking our way back. We were gone far enough, but we weren't gone far, but it was far enough that it was a bit of a trek for a 7-year-old boy to track through bumpy ground. We were probably 5 minutes walk away from the gate where my dad had parked his van. I was insanely into animals at the time and knowledge around them. But when I tell you what I saw next was not a normal fox, I mean it. I've seen hundreds of foxes before and since. This thing was massive. We were walking on a grass strip between the fence beside where there were 2 big thorn bushes beside us. And when I tell you, I saw a fox appear from behind one of them and bolt right across to the other side. But it was on its hind legs the entire time. And I'm not talking slow thing either. This thing bolted like a shot. And it was stood fully up like a human person. I didn't think too much of it at first, but I pointed out to my dad as it ran again. I said, "Whoa, a fox." All of a sudden, I remember us sprinting back to the van. I was scared because I didn't know what was happening. It's like when someone acts scared or freaked out, but you have no clue what's going on. So I was confused. Later in life, I asked my dad about it. He claims to not remember it, neither do my siblings. But I know for a fact that it happened. I ended up asking my mom, and she confirmed that I told her about it when I got home and explained it the same way I just wrote it out here. And she said I was 7 years old when it happened, like I was thinking. And that I said I saw a giant fox running on its hind legs from bush to bush.
Something you'd certainly remember. A big ass fox running on 2 legs.
So it's funny though, it kind of reminds me of the thing that my brother had seen out by his house. He still hasn't gotten it on camera, but he said he had seen it since then. But like this giant fox thing on its hind legs.
Does he have the camera up?
He does have the camera up, but he's moved it a few times, and I just think he's not either not letting it in the right spot, or he doesn't have, left it long enough.
We might have to investigate this on scene.
Yeah, might have to. But yeah, it really reminded me of that. But so I'm also excited about this. I was interested in this story because it was from another country. A lot of my stories are in North America and stuff. So I was like, oh, an Irish story. I was like, I read one. And so I'll definitely read this. And slight spoiler from the rest of my stories, they're all from other countries too. And so they're all going to be like, it's an international thing for me tonight. But anyway, I really liked his recollection of it was that, he pointed out, he was like, whoa, a fox. And then his dad freaked out immediately, grabbed him and ran. They started running. And so whatever it was enough to throw him off. But
Yeah.
later they don't remember it. I mean, obviously some people might not remember something 10 years later, like he said it was 10 years.
Yeah, but that seems like something I'd remember.
Yeah, me too. And as far as
You think he's just well, how old is he now? Hold on. How old is he now?
he's like 16 now, 16 or 17.
Maybe he's waiting until he's an adult. I don't know. But you couldn't forget something that crazy, surely.
Yeah. And then he says other siblings don't remember, but they might not have even seen it. They might just remember their dad running off to the van.
How do you think this was a chaotic moment when it happened?
I think it must have been the way he wrote it.
Where were they running to? They're just running away.
Yeah, running to his van. He said it's probably about a 5-minute walk from where they were at.
Would you run towards it? Come here, you son of a bitch. Run right at it. Fox on 2 legs.
No. It just seems like if it's some sort of wild animal that's rather large, I probably wouldn't run straight at it. No.
The bears do some pretty incredible stuff on their legs, back legs.
Yeah, they do. There is well, we were talking about Gene Moe before, but I've read other people talk about these bears, running or walking on their hind legs for a little bit, and then I could see that being like a thing like that, but this was in Ireland, and I don't know if they have bears.
I don't know.
Yeah, but so
somebody let us know. Does Ireland have bears? Anyway, that was small though. It wasn't like the size of a damn bear.
No, he said it was very large for a fox. Though. It says the largest fox he's ever seen.
Is this the one thing that you sent?
No, that is for my next story.
Okay. Oh, dude, I was about to say. Holy crap. So Luke sent me a picture for the story tonight. I have no clue what it is.
Yeah.
So I see it and I'm just like, what is this? How's this going to tie into the story this evening?
No, not that one, but yeah, the next story we'll be using that one. And
so you see a picture like that, you're like, dang, what's going to happen? This thing is equally, I don't want to say equally because that's not true. There's not a picture for this one, but it's pretty terrifying itself. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I can see this being really something that would be perplexing for someone to think about later in life. It's like, did I actually see a really tall fox running on its hind legs? And then
somebody in the chat's saying, what if it's something that's like was extinct, or we thought was extinct?
Yeah, that's a possibility. Also, there are animal spirits and stuff like that known throughout.
No bears in Ireland. The producers come back and saying,
oh, see, now that's interesting because a small bear might kind of look like a fox in the distance to a kid or something like that, like a bear
if you're really young, you could remember it a different way for sure.
Yeah, especially if you'd seen foxes in the area.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was an interesting little story. That was a fun one to start off with. A little low stakes, but definitely kind of creepy. Like, this thing running on its hind legs. And imagining that to me is kind of creepy.
Big fluffy tail and everything like a fox.
Yeah. Like if I saw that, I'd be like, all right, we need to get the hell out of here. If I was like thinking like this dad, he's like, we need to get away from this thing.
Yeah. Gather up the troops and get out of there.
Yeah.
Man. If you're older though, so you're thinking if you were the dad, let's say, and it was just you out there, you wouldn't try to get closer for a view. You didn't have the.
If I had like a stick, something like
I had a stick,
like a walking stick or something like that,
Well, if you don't walk with a walking stick, folks, you should start. You never know when a fox on its hind legs, it's 4 foot tall, is going to come after you.
Yeah,
I saw it, but you would though. The point being, it's very. Yeah. It's a very much safer situation without the kids. You might go about it and go try to check it out.
Yeah, if there's no kids there to worry about, yeah, maybe so. So I think that's kind of my position would be is like, alone. that might be interesting to look at. And for a kid, that would be kind of spooky, though.
Great story to start the night off.
Yeah, it's a fun
Do you
little one.
Yeah. Do you want me to go off with mine now?
Oh yeah, yeah. Looking forward to it.
Let's cue up some music.
I can hear you now, I think.
You can hear me, you think?
Yep. You're good.
Okay. This story tonight, when I read it, I was more than thrilled to share it. It's called The Black Dog. If you listen or watch this show on a regular basis, you will know how much we like the story of the Black Dog. And what do you know? We have one now from a trucker. So you can't make the stuff up. I think we're all excited now that we've wrapped up for that. Let me get it going here. The Black Dog. I want to begin by saying I've been an over-the-road trucker for the past 5 years now. I started driving as a career when I was 21. I honestly love what I do, even if it's for ungrateful people. During the past 5 years, I've seen some unnatural things on the road. Some things that most likely have no real explanation. Some of those things felt evil, and others just left me feeling unsure. I'll begin with the one that most people who drive a semi as a profession at night, or who possibly have family in the transportation industry, have experienced. If they haven't experienced it, they probably at least heard of it. The Black Dog. I remember the first time I heard this. I was about 3 months into this career, and I heard two older drivers talking about it in a rest stop diner. They spoke about how the Black Dog shows up when you've been driving too long late at night. I won't go into too much detail before the story, but every commercial driver has to follow hours of service regulations, stating you can't drive more than 11 hours a day and you can't be on duty more than 14 hours, assuming you spent some time waiting for your trailer to be loaded or unloaded, whatever. If this time is reached, a mandatory 10-hour rest break is required, and it is mandatory. In a quick summary, they say seeing the Black Dog is caused by your brain forcing a shutdown because of fatigue. While you're driving, basically you fall asleep with your eyes open, blending reality and the dream in a state causing hallucinations. The old wise drivers tell you that if you see the Black Dog, it's time to get some rest. Some say the dog is there to protect you from getting into an accident, kind of like a guardian angel, but others think there's something much more evil behind it. Enough time wasted, I will get to the story. This happened to me about 6 months ago. I had a delivery to make in western New York and was coming up through rural Pennsylvania on one of the state routes. It was a little after 10 p.m., and I still had about 3 hours left to drive. I can't stress this part out enough. I wasn't even remotely tired. I was driving around a winding set of curves on this route through the forest area. I come around a blind left curve, and there I saw it, sitting on the edge of the road, a Black Dog. Suddenly, it came darting out in front of me in the road. I was traveling at 50 miles an hour with a completely full and heavy load in the trailer. There was no way I could stop in time. I slammed onto my brakes, but soon felt what I thought was the dog being hit hardly. The dog being hit hard. I was immediately thinking there's no way it would survive being hit by a 76,000 pounds moving at 50 miles an hour. When I finally came to a stop about 400 feet later, I pulled off as far as I could to the right side of the road, and I stepped out of my truck. I walked around to the front and closely examined the area of the truck in which I thought the dog was struck. There was no damage, no blood, no scratches, nothing at all indicating anything had been hit. I walked all the way around the trailer and still wasn't seeing any damage. I hopped back in and grabbed my flashlight out of the truck. I go back out of the truck and start heading to where I was certain I hit the dog back down the road to look around. Still not suspecting anything odd. My mindset was pretty simple. If it was someone's dog, they had the right to know what had happened. I searched up and down the road and in the ditches for over 5 minutes and found absolutely nothing. I even looked on the roadway when I was on my way down there, and there was no sign on the roads of anything happening. I was completely confused. I gave up searching and decided to walk back to my truck. As I got closer, walking down the side of my trailer, approaching the front of my truck, suddenly all at once, I got cold chills down my spine. The hairs on the back of my neck stood up, and I broke into a cold sweat. I saw it. The black dog was sitting just below my driver's side mirror, staring at me. I could only see it because of the amber lights on the side of my truck and trailer illuminating the black dog. I decided to shine my flashlight on the dog, but as soon as the beam of the light hit him, or as soon as the beam of the light hit the dog, it just vanished. It was suddenly gone. I knew it was time to get the hell out of there. I ran to the driver's side door of my truck, quickly climbed inside, locked the doors, released my brakes, and booked it down the road. For the next 5 miles, I kept seeing the black dog on the side of the road staring up at me. Something didn't feel right about this at all. Every time I saw it, it was staring at me. Always with no expression, not doing anything, but just sitting there looking at me. But every time it would appear, it would disappear moments after seeing it, then reappear again shortly down the road. I felt a level of fear I'd never felt before. I was legitimately scared. I didn't know what to do. There was nowhere within enough space for a 70-foot long truck and trailer to turn around, and this delivery needed to happen as soon as possible. I was running out of time. So as they say, I decided to keep on trucking. After at least 5 minutes of this happening, the dog stopped appearing. About 15 miles later, weird things started to happen. My interior lights were turning on and off, and my headlights were flickering constantly. Then I began to lose air pressure from my brakes. I realized this was not good because if your air pressure drops below 20 to 40 psi, it's not enough air pressure to keep the springs held back from applying and being able to be applied for both the truck and trailer brakes. It got down to 60 psi and an air warning light came on, so I decided to pull over to the side of the road while I had the air pressure to do so safely. I got out to check what was causing the air pressure loss. Keep in mind, I was terrified this whole time. I got up to there and I looked closely and I saw all the brake lines were severed. It looked like they had been bitten in half, which was crazy because the air lines on big trucks are made to withstand 150 psi, and the lines had been severed. The brake didn't look clean exactly, more like mangled and chewed. Well, there was nothing else I could do, so I notified dispatch about the breakdown and turned on the emergency lights and laid out my reflective triangles. Around an hour later, after sitting there terrified the entire time, nothing else had happened and I was still waiting for help to arrive. Eventually, from a good distance, I saw the lights of another 18-wheeler approaching. I switched my CB to channel 19, which is a common channel used, and told the driver to keep to the left as there was a very small shoulder and I was about halfway into the lane of travel. The driver radioed back, 10-4, thanks for the heads up, driver. Is everything okay up there? So I radioed back, yeah, damn brake lines. He didn't respond, and moments later he came past me without slowing down, easily doing 60 in this 45 zone. I watched him follow the curve to the left and then saw the brake lights and heard screeching of the tires and watched as he swerved off the road and ran into a large pine tree. I climbed out of my truck and ran over to the truck. I climbed out of my truck and ran over to his truck. It was smashed in, and a branch was pierced through the windshield, his front windshield. I quickly opened up the driver's side door and saw the large branch had punctured through his shoulder just above his underarm pit, and a small amount of blood was leaking out. But by the way, the way the branch appeared to be punctured into his shoulder appeared to be preventing extreme blood loss. It was just a little amount at this point. The driver was unconscious, so I immediately called 911, gave them the state route, the mile marker, and the nature of his injuries. They told me they notified EMS and the state police would be there as soon as they could. 20 minutes later or so, they arrived, and they had to use a saw to cut the branch both in front and behind the driver. Once out of the truck and on the gurney, he finally came to. He started crying, but not out of pain, but what seemed to be concerned. He kept asking the EMS and the police, "Did I hit her? Did I hit that poor little girl?" I was taken back by this. I was shocked, because the last house I passed was at least 3 miles away, and there was no houses in sight of us on the stretch of the road that was in front of us. The ambulance rushed him to the hospital, and the police notified the towing company and then called his company to inform them of the incident. I gave the state police my witness statement. As they were leaving the scene, the large tow truck my company dispatched arrived, along with a relay driver to finish my delivery for me. In the exchange with the relay driver, he looked at me, and all he said was, "You saw it, didn't you? The black dog." I nodded my head and replied, "Yes." He then said, "Kid, it saved your life. It's best you don't forget that. Everything got hooked up and we were on our way. That was the last time I saw the black dog. Well, so far at least. I don't know why it was there or what it wanted. I also don't know how it chooses who it appears in front of or when it chooses to do so. But all I know is that it may have saved my life that day. If you are traveling and you ever see the black dog, pull over immediately.
Was great. Oh man.
Was everything I hoped it would be?
Yeah, that was great. Wow. That was something.
Let me
else.
start off by saying it's everything I thought would happen, kind of in a way.
Yeah. Man, that was a good one. I'm really happy that you got to do a black dog story on here, because that's like, our entire reason for being on here, basically.
Yeah, the black dog I think started this huge this like spark of interest with us to do this show. In my opinion, at least. I don't know.
Yeah, that is great.
Let's go to the black dog short clip just to keep people up on what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You saw the dog, didn't you? The black dog. I've heard truckers talk about it on the yard. They say it comes to take everything away from you.
And it did.
What more can you say?
Yeah.
So let's start off by going into some detail here about he was not like a long experienced driver, but 5 years is still a pretty decent amount of time. He said he was at 5 years. It was 6 months ago, 4.5 years or so doing this job. So he's not exactly completely inexperienced. Now he communicated clearly. He or she, I'm sorry, I really don't know. I don't think they ever said. So let me just say, the person communicated clearly that this was known by all the drivers. He had first heard about it when he was just a few months in, went to a truck stop. He heard two older drivers talking about it. So he had constantly heard about it. And he said it's common, like if your family was, if your father or whoever was a truck driver, you would have heard about it too. So this is not like, this is a well-known thing, man, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. We've heard, similar stories or read similar stories and stuff like that. And, we had talked about it during the show a few times that we had read about black dog stories. This was probably the best one I've ever heard, because of the amount of times the dog kept showing up, which is unusual. Usually it's just like a one and done.
He wanted, not to cut you off, but he wanted to make sure that we realize, the person wanted to make sure we realized they were not tired at all.
Yeah.
It wasn't super late even.
Yeah. And so, like, to see this thing multiple times is very kind of unusual. And then furthermore, with it apparently biting through its air brake system and stuff like that, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, that's
a lot of people in the chat are saying he was just seeing things. A lot of shit happened. At some point, it would probably wake you up for a little while, unless you hallucinated the whole entire event entirely. But constant things happen, and you think you would be kind of woke up for a little while. Your body would wake itself up. So he makes impact with the dog, or what he thinks is the black dog, right? And he gets out. You had a story similar to this with a dog, but it did something else. But looks around, no sign of damage at all. Then the person does the right thing. They're going to go check back where they think the point of impact was. They looked around for the dog, couldn't find anything. They come back, and that's when they had that scary moment. Can you picture this moment? So you're going around the back of the trailer. You know how the trailers have those lights on the side illuminating? Yeah. And as you turn around and you're getting a little closer, you see it sitting under your mirror on the outside there. What was walking through your mind? I could put myself in this picture of this.
Yeah, the description of it kind of just being barely illuminated at all by this amber light, and just seeing it sitting underneath its the driver's side mirror, just sitting there. Yeah, that sounds terrifying on first brush. It's like, man, what the hell? And then the fact that it disappeared when they, flashed it with the light, to try to get a good look at it. Yeah, that would be the most unnerving thing just to see something like that.
Go to the chat here. Oh, we got dropping. Oh, that is we know this person.
Yeah, we know this
It's
person.
Tyler. Yeah. Okay. So he travels or drives after losing long shifts. This is awesome. He would just go to sleep though. He wouldn't even. He
Yeah,
wouldn't even pull over. That guy. Let's see what else we got here. Great story. Never knew the black dog could be capable of good.
that is an interesting thing. They mentioned that the black dog saved him. Or
Says
saved-
here, nits. Oh, nuts. Okay, it was nuts, and maybe the black dog disguised itself as a girl to save the semi truck driver from getting hit by the other semi truck. I like the theory of that.
That's possible. That part was a very strange part for that person to just, peel out of there like the way they did, and then they hit that branch. Man, that's a terrifyingly painful injury that I can imagine. Just like that branch going through you like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Can imagine so he had to wait an hour for help. Can you imagine
Yeah.
just sitting there after everything you've experienced up and down the road the last 20 miles?
Yeah, that constant sighting of that dog on the side of the road. Yeah, I would definitely be on edge, for sure. The entire time, just kind of like checking with a flashlight or something.
You see an oncoming truck, they're definitely going to radio it so it doesn't hit you, right?
Yeah.
For safety reasons.
Definitely. Yeah, it would make sense to be on the CB or something and just constantly, let people know where you're at. That was freaking scary and really awesome. That was better than I could imagine.
Did it live up to the movie?
I think it beats the movie.
Dang. In the movie, it wasn't necessarily a bad thing, the black dog in the end, wasn't it? Didn't he have the black dog in the end? I don't remember. Heck.
In like that story though.
It was like in the back of the truck, wasn't it? Like randomly, a black dog.
Oh man, I can't remember. But like in that point though, in the movie where he's recounting the story, he ends up actually hitting somebody with his car.
Yes, that's how he lost his life. That's how he lost
Yeah.
his CDL, right?
Yeah. So like that story of the black dog is a little bit less helpful because it drove him into swerving off the road, hitting that person. But this
Meatloaf
story,
was the real black dog. Somebody said.
he's got that dog in him.
Yeah, that's for sure. Dude, this is an incredible story. You don't know how excited I was to share this with you.
It was great.
I was holding back like a little kid, all excited. I thought that this is going to be like a mic drop here.
Yeah,
Because everything I hoped it would be, I think, by your reaction, everybody else's reaction.
Yeah, I mean, it really was. Once you said you were going to read that black dog story, I was like, this is going to be great.
It's not the end either. I think there's going to be more black dog stories in the future.
Oh, sure, there will be.
Did you really? Last thing I'll ask you before we move on. Did you really think it was like that common, like this person's saying?
I've read other people talk about it over the years. Like I've looked up the movie Black Dog, and like people would talk about it. Like, no, it's actually a thing. It's not just a random movie with Swayze.
Swayze was awesome. Wow, I don't know. I'm gonna be thinking about that one for a while.
It was a good
The
one.
Black Dog.
I really like that one a lot.
Yeah, I did too. I can't just let it go either. I got to find that video one more time. It was so great.
Yeah.
You saw the dog, didn't you? The black dog. I've heard truckers talk about it on the yard. They say it comes to take everything away from you.
And it did.
It did.
All right, we'll cue up the music here and we'll get ready to move on.
Okay.
Someone said they assumed it was just a movie thing. Yeah, I guess they got the concept from something real, you know?
All right. Am I coming through?
You are coming through, which is weird, man. I want to give it a few more seconds just in case you
Yeah.
stop. coming
You never know.
through. Usually when you play something else, it automatically like cancels out where you were. So I guess do this whole weird thing again.
Yeah. Well, I guess
But-
it's still working.
Yeah, I'll mute up and it's your turn, man.
Alrighty. A little bit of a heads up. This is was written by someone from Mexico, and so English isn't their first language, and so there's a few words that I might stumble on as they typed it up. So this is a story about a creature called a Nahual, and this is a Mexican shapeshifter. Many of you paranormal enthusiasts may have already heard by now the word Nahul. Here in Mexico, I would guess that, and also in other countries in Latin America, we call this is a person that can shapeshift into animals. This was a cold night. I remember because it was really odd around this area of my country. My parents' house is in a small town, and back when I lived there back in the day, it was one of the last houses on the outside of town. There weren't very many neighbors, but there was a lot of trees and nature all around us. The house had a long backyard where we used to have sheep at one side. There was also a small water stream and trees on the other side. Suddenly, that night, the sheep started to bleat very loudly. Something you could almost call a scream. My father went to check out the window on the backside of the house. I still recall his face when he came back quickly, smoothing his voice. He told my mom, "Go ask your father and brother to come here immediately." There were 4 brothers, my grandfather, and my father. When everyone was there, a few minutes later, my father started to tell what he saw. In the barnyard, we had 10 sheep. At the moment my father looked out there, all of them were heaped just in one corner. At the center, there was some sort of big animal. My father described it as the size of a bear, which makes no sense for our area. He said it was big and hairy and seemed to be eating one of the sheep out there. The sheep were all screaming still. Then my grandfather told my mom to keep inside the house and keep me in there, also with her. If you go outside now, you may catch a bad air. So he made some kind of prayer. He was holding onto a machete. I remember he said the names of my uncles and my father in his prayer. They went outside. My grandfather started to yell at the darkness, telling things like, "Go away, you have nothing to do here, leave this house." My father told me that he saw how this thing was in a pose, like it was hunched over eating the sheep that was laying on the ground, still screaming the entire time. When my grandfather yelled at it, this thing seemed to stop and raise its head up towards my family. The being was only staring at them, not a single noise, also no red or shining eyes like an animal. Only the shadow looked like it was looking at them. So my father decided to do something that, at last, he took a big rock and picked it up from the ground and threw it at the thing. It may have not been the smartest thing to do in the situation, but apparently this thing was not strong enough to take on 6 men armed with machetes, or at least it didn't want to at the time. When the legs. Is when they came closer to the sheep, they saw.
You cut out on my end at the time, not up to taking on 6 men with machete at the time. Might want to restart from there.
Okay. So he threw the rock, and the thing, not wanting to take on the 6 men armed with machetes, or maybe it was just not wanting to take them on at this time, ran and into the forest on 4 legs. This is when they came closer to the sheep. They saw how the sheep was on the ground. It was still alive. It had been completely skinned. It was horrifying, to say the least. My grandfather sacrificed it to stop the suffering. After that night, a family friend who is known for being quite strong despite being an old man, and there was tales that he used to practice sorcery to heal people, told us that someone new in town was apparently a Nahul. He told us he spoke to that man and asked him to leave town. We have never happened to see that ever again, so it seems that it took his advice to leave town. And we have a picture of what was supposedly a Nahul caught on a trail cam some 10 years back. It's not this from this story, but they apparently all look very similar to this. Which just looks like a freaking nightmare.
Oh my gosh.
Like the hands, those are not paws; those are definitely hands.
Oh my gosh.
And the face, very human-esque. So yes,
Yeah.
apparently this is a witch person that will transform into this creature and terrorize communities. But apparently, people who practice certain other magics have been able to run them off. Shamans and stuff like that. They're not as powerful as, say, a skinwalker, which is like apparently supposed to be almost indestructible and is a curse upon humans. This is a person that does this, and yeah, not much I could say here except for this is one of the most terrifying pictures I've ever seen. And like I said, it dates back originally 10 years or so ago. So like some people were saying, "Oh, this AI generated," because someone shared it not too long ago. And he's like, "No, it's way too old to be AI generated." And
That's
something
good to know.
about something about it is just off. So it doesn't look like a Photoshop or anything. It just looks like a creature that was caught on camera. And you got like
So
the bugs flying in the background and everything. It looks very authentic.
yeah, you can see the long grass and all that.
Yeah.
This is a question that I also have here. Sorcerer was able to tell them to leave. We need to find out more.
Yeah, apparently he practiced healing magic. And that was
That's
his
odd.
thing. Yeah, he was
It's
a
cool, I guess, but
yeah, he's kind of like a medicine man.
I think, yeah, that's like a Dr. Quinn medicine man.
Yeah.
Uh, I think the creepy part to me is they describe this sheep screaming.
Yeah. So it was more than a bleat and almost a scream. And
Yeah,
the fact that they found it skinned but alive. Like the thing wasn't actually eating it, it was skinning it.
that is crazy. It was still alive, and they had to take care of it,
Yeah.
dude. This picture's terrifying. I think the face and the hands are definitely what do it for me, but the legs are definitely animal.
Yeah.
Look at the way at the joints, and then even the lack of girth down there at the leg area, the feet area, right above the feet area, should I say? You can see the bones.
Yeah. It's still like a very stocky upper body though. It's like,
It is.
like you can
It almost
you know,
looks like freaking fingernails for claws.
it does. Like they're not like long or anything. They're kind of like trimmed almost.
Dude, that's creepy.
Yeah.
It's also the shadow behind it of it.
Yeah. Yeah, the shadow behind it there
Uh-huh.
kind of makes it look more real.
I tell you what, this I've seen a lot of trail cam stuff. This looks like a vintage trail cam picture.
Yeah,
It
it does.
shot here. Never the greatest quality. Like I said, this is even older. So
Yeah, and 10 years ago, and it's from South America, Latin America, or anyway, and so it might not be the most high quality cameras there. And so, yeah, it looks real, and that's what makes it more terrifying.
also have the down there in the bottom of the picture if you want to go learn more
Yeah.
about it. Looks like that'd be a good spot.
Yes, he was more just wanting to know what the hell it was because he had seen this picture and re-uploaded it. He was like, "What is this? I just saw this somewhere else," and so I was like, we think it's a Nahu. Yeah, so I encountered a few other Nahu stories when I was looking for one that I really liked. This one was I would say the most easy to read because, like I said, a lot of them are from Spanish native speakers, and so like a lot of them are a little bit more chopped up and harder to read.
Yeah,
So this one was the easiest one, and I was like, well, I want to
that's
go with this one.
terrifying. Dude,
They're all pretty terrifying. All the stories are really weird. There was one where the person described it as having human breasts, and it was like staring at her from the driveway while she was on the porch, and it was like just like stalking her. And then her parents came out and chased it off with screaming at it and stuff like that. But
Out of her. Get on out of her. Get on out of her.
So, yeah, very terrifying, very weird, and an interesting new creature to learn about. I like learning about new shape-shifting horrors.
Viv Game says, man, if you squint your eyes and head, looks clear and somehow more terrifying. Let me try here. It kind of does.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's a nightmare.
This is that was a cool story. This is terrifying. I think that I'm curious. I'm going to ask you, like I always do, what would you do if you come across this and you're in this scenario?
Well,
If you had a stick, let's go back to last story here. If you had a stick, would you approach this thing? You might need more than a stick for this one.
I need more. I know I need some sort of blade or gun. If it looks like that. I also like the fact that they talk about how it looked up at them, right? But its eyes weren't reflective like an animal's eyes. It was dark. It was just like a shadow of his head looking up.
Yeah.
I don't know, the idea of this thing crouched over and skinning this sheep alive.
That's what I was wondering. Is its foot down? Its other foot down in that picture? You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're looking at it here, and I'm just like, is that other foot down? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. It's this thing,
or is it really just hunched over completely? You know?
I don't know. It might be. At first, I thought it was jumping through the camera, like, to the side, but it might just be like maybe the camera's a little bit tilted or something like that, and it's kind of like just walking towards it. I don't know.
You put a trail cam up and you find that. What do you do?
Well, I would figure out what kind of shaman or sorcerer we need to contact. You know, some sort of healing sorcerer.
Apparently, they're very common there.
Yeah. And then we will go from there. Also get some machetes. You know, have a machete party.
Move to a different, move. Yeah. I don't know if I'd be going out there tonight, though.
No.
Maybe everybody should have a trail cam out just to
outside
just to know what you're up against.
They're like $30 on Amazon. Get a couple of them out there.
Yeah, just to know what you're up against. You know, you never know. Awesome story.
Yeah, I liked it.
Let's move on. If you're listening on TikTok, which there are a few of you, you're about to get booted. I'm sorry. The will restrict me and ban me if I play a video on the stream. So if you're listening on TikTok, watching on TikTok, jump over to YouTube, Jeff Townsend Media, find us there. Or Podcast Father on everything else, Twitter, Instagram. Everything's still rolling right now with this. So I got to kick you off here on TikTok. I'm sorry. That sucks for them.
It does.
Yeah. Okay, so this next video I'm going to show. I like this tradition of showing a video, by the way.
I like it too.
This has kind of made its rounds a little bit on the internet the last, 6 months. So there's a janitor at a high school. Actually, I don't know if it's even high school. Let's just say a janitor at a school who thinks the school is really creepy, and he films from his cell phone an encounter that he has.
Okay.
All right, I usually don't record while I'm on the job, but this is freaking me out. It's sort of unreal. I'm here at work. I'm here in the janitor's closet. Yeah, let me just show you guys. All right. Just to, let you guys know, this school was built on a cemetery. I don't know if that helps my situation or not, but previous janitors that have worked here have tried to tell everyone that, every night something happens, some spooky shit, I don't know, paranormal or whatever you want to call it, but yeah, I didn't really believe them until tonight. I was in here cleaning up after some students had thrown a party, but What's been freaking me out is this one right here. No matter where I'm at in the classroom or what I decide to do, it just follows me. And do your thing, you stupid balloon. I got you on camera now, so let's just, see? That right there. Shit. Just ooh, okay. See, no. It just follows me no matter what. Ooh! No, I can't.
Did you see it?
I didn't quite. I saw something in the very last frame there.
Try to catch it. Okay. Should have spent more time slowing this down. Man, it's going to be hard to catch it. It was so fast. See if I can even catch it here. Okay, look down the hall. These
Yeah.
two double doors down there under the exit sign, or whatever
Right.
that green sign is.
Ooh!
Jeez.
No, I can't.
I was looking more at the
There it is.
balloon
Cop got it.
originally. Yeah, he did. Get
Shadow
it.
enters the area.
Yeah, just the first time when we were watching it, I was watching the balloon more, but then like out of the corner of my eye, I thought I saw something, but then I wasn't sure. And now it's very obvious when you look down that hallway. That's crazy. Looks like a kid running, almost.
Yeah, it's fast, whatever it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's creepy. There, look at it. Okay. Another
yeah,
pause on the shadow here. It's clearly something's casting a shadow as it's going through this doorway here.
yeah,
And they're saying in the chat. It is fast.
yeah. That is nuts. That's like less than a frame or two, and you get that thing running across there. It's
You see two doors opened up,
yeah,
and whatever's behind the frame back there, is where it happens. I
that
don't-
is nuts. That is
creepy
really-
enough. The balloon's following him. But
Yeah,
then to I think the
Wow.
point for oh gosh, it's so creepy. The point for me that is crazy, which you can hear the tremble in his voice when he enters this room when he's talking about it. Let's go back to that real quick. Listen to how he's speaking when he goes in here. Just the fear in his voice.
These janitors that have worked here have tried to tell everyone that, every night something happens, some spooky shit. I don't know, paranormal or whatever you want to call it, but yeah, I didn't really believe him until tonight. I was in here cleaning up after some students had thrown a party, but what's been freaking me out is this one right here.
Here, we hear him talk here.
No matter where I'm at in the classroom or what I decide to do, it just follows me. And do your thing, you stupid balloon. I got you on camera now, so let's just, see? That right there.
I will say this guy doesn't have a bunch of paranormal content on his profile. That's his profile right there. You can go to TikTok and watch it. This is it. I mean, there was really not like I've got all this crazy stuff, it happened to me. It's just he has another video when he follows up saying nothing else had happened, but how petrified he was.
Yeah, well, like he said he doesn't usually record at work. But this was unusual enough that he felt like doing it. And yeah, that's pretty weird. This balloon doesn't appear to have anything on it that would make it move.
No, it's that's what I thought, and I was ready for the chat to start saying that. But he goes out this door frame here, and he goes and he shows the floor. Hold on. I don't see anything down there.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like, this thing is just flat out moving, and it goes out that door and then follows him. It's so weird.
They're right there. I don't see a string pulling it.
No. And that would be really hard to do, and with any sort of real way to get it to come this way and then out that way.
Yeah.
Like, if he was doing it right now, pulling a string,
It'd be
would
hitting
come
the wall
straight-
and weird.
it would come straight.
It'd be
at
hitting
that
the door
wall.
frame and weird stuff. Yeah, you'd think so.
Yeah.
I don't know what the name of the school is. It might just tell you more on the comments or in his videos down there. Go back and watch the live here and catches. That's the TikTok username right there. Dude, this was scary when I saw it. It's like not some crazy thing
Right.
in the sense of like a bunch of crazy evidence, I guess, but the balloon itself is really weird. Okay. Then you throw in this figure dashing across the hallway on top of it. It makes it even crazier.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very strange.
Like, again, here, really far away. You don't see it being dragged by anything.
And it's coming out straight at right angles here. Like, it's like,
Yeah,
bam.
right at him. Right at him.
It's like
I
straight
don't-
left and then straight towards him.
A lot of people in the chat are saying they expected a jump scare. Certainly
mean,
wasn't the case, but oh gosh, that is
it's
freaky when it
not-
runs across.
It's not a jump scare, right? It's this thing running.
It is. People are talking about how tall it is. It is. Let's try to catch it again.
Yeah.
Gosh, so hard to catch.
The shadow is very tall, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, I should have slowed this down and maybe
Like,
post production. I will a little bit.
It's so fast.
Gotta try clicking over again here.
There it is there.
Yeah, it does seem pretty tall. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
It kind of depends like where the light's hitting at, where you're standing at, that makes your shadow, the height, obviously. But it has some size to it.
Yeah, that's pretty freaky. I wasn't sure where this is gonna go. Like the other balloon itself was already pretty kind of weird and a little bit spooky, and then that part there is like, what the heck was that?
And he gets out of there, dude.
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
He says, this is it. I've had
Yeah.
enough. I really like this video. I thought it was pretty, like I said, again, did you hear the fear in his voice?
yeah,
That
Yeah, he
seemed
definitely
very
seemed-
legitimate.
yeah. He seemed very scared.
I wonder if he did finish his shift. I don't remember. He may have clocked out then, but he came back. But he did have a video the next night talking about the experience, and I don't think
Yeah.
anything happened like that night. But I guess that was pretty common at this school. And it let's just not forget to mention how he said it was built on a cemetery. He showed that picture.
Yeah,
Who the heck does that? Like,
it's very weird. It's also weird that they have a picture about the cemetery. I guess they're just like, hey, we did this. We're not going to deny it.
we did this to you, bastards. Disrespected you like your bodies. I don't know. I don't know, but that's a very creepy thing that running across the screen, dude.
Definitely. There you go, right in the middle of it. It's actually really well defined.
It's really defined in the sense of it looks like a person from the side.
Yeah, like
You see like the
there's,
head and
almost
the
no-
torso.
There's like no real mistaking what it is. It's definitely a person's body, the shadow of it. Anyway, very spooky.
You think if you were running full sprint, you'd probably go across there that fast, I guess. Or maybe even
Yeah, if
faster.
you're-
It might be
if you're-
faster than possible, but if you got a good run on you going,
Yeah, if you're running at full tilt, you can get to there. but that means this thing is running, which is weird and spooky. It's just so oddly. Would be
So you think
just
there's
so hard.
multiple entities mess with him here?
I don't know. It might be.
Gosh, it's so creepy. That's so
Yeah.
creepy. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
nuts.
Okay, so the timing of it is really matches up, right? He definitely reacted when it ran by. So this wasn't some post-production edit to make it fake.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it could be, but the acting of it's perfect in my opinion. Like how he reacts. So I can picture it like the balloons in front of you, and you have that from like you see that behind it happen real fast. I'd be getting the hell out of there too.
Yeah. That's crazy. I love that. That balloon freaky. Balloons have been freaky since, it.
Yeah,
came
red
out.
balloon, right?
Yeah.
That was like it, right? Red balloon.
Yeah, it was a red balloon. Yeah. So they're terrifying in their own way.
The balloon's still moving, and that thing he reacts immediately. See, the blur starts there. He saw it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really like this video though. I thought this is the most. It's not the most like crazy video we ever shared, but to me it has like a real, like it feels real to me. It feels really real.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I definitely need to go on to Viv Game at this point. Need to go onto his profile and see if it talks more about the. He doesn't run out of there like an idiot either. He just kind of walks
gets
away
away.
quickly.
Yeah.
I guess you would. I might run. I don't know.
Yeah, the
I
worst
like
part
how
is, he's got to go back in there and finish that job.
Yeah. I think another thing that makes this real is like he snuck away into the janitor's closet and he starts talking about it, right? Like, hey, we're gonna go
Yeah.
look at this. You can tell he really didn't want to do it. Then when he goes in there and you see this one single balloon in the corner away from the rest of them, and this is the one that's falling around.
So messed up.
He turned around there. I always wondered why. Did he hear something? He'd probably be hearing crazy stuff.
Yeah.
He said after the things he'd been experiencing that night, he decided to start recording. I wonder what he was experiencing before,
I guess it's just been this balloon harassing him this whole time while he's sweeping up and stuff.
Because your first instinct wouldn't be to start filming. You'd be like, you'd wait a little while. You'd be like, this is ridiculous. Like, is this a real thing? I'm gonna get my phone out and start filming,
You might think maybe the air is blowing around or something like that.
They had a little birthday
what's
party.
Weird is that it's just like it's almost like it's standing at the front of the class to like teach or something like where a teacher would be standing.
It is weird.
That's such a strange.
Even at the bottom of the balloon, you can see the thing that weigh it down.
Yeah, the little tag thing there.
Yeah. So they all have that little thing down there.
Yeah.
Then you go to this one, it has it too.
Yeah.
As you get closer, you can really see it.
Yeah. So it's like
see it.
Yeah, it's got a little weight on it and everything. Yeah. Like, what the hell is this? Why is this happening? This is so crazy. And I can see why he'd be freaked out enough to maybe want to try to film it, see if he can catch it on camera.
When he's in here, you can hear the fear in his voice.
Yeah.
It just kind of floats to him, It's kind of weird.
It's a little drift, and then it starts getting more and more speed, which kind of makes it seem more insidious. Like it's
like the faster he's backing up, the faster it starts approaching.
Yeah,
but never too fast.
He's kind of like freaking out by it, and the fact that it follows him out to the hallway is so weird.
Yeah, it seemed like it didn't quite go that far last time. He didn't expect it to come out the door. So he's kind of like, this thing's actually going to follow me out here.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to see if there's I'm trying to see anything on the ground.
Yeah, I don't really see any line or anything.
Oh my gosh.
Make it move. It's such an angle that it's like
it's not bumping up against a bunch of stuff either.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty weird. And then you got that part right there.
He just
So
walks
good.
out. Awesome video.
Yeah, I like that.
You think it's real?
I think so. Yeah, definitely. I would say that it looked real to me.
I mean, the balloon part, it's kind of hard, like, for somebody to mess with him that he wasn't in on it. Running
Yeah,
down the hallway could be something like some funny stuff going on, I guess. But you think you would have seen a person too that came by?
yeah. You would think the fact that you don't see a person at all, and he's still there for like a second afterwards. So like, it wasn't someone like shadow casted way ahead of them for some reason. You know, it
Yeah.
was just gone. Yeah, I wouldn't even know where that shadow would be casted from. You know?
You figured you have to run through the doorway, past the
Yeah,
doorway, not through, past the doorway.
yeah, yeah. That was pretty messed up.
Well, man, good luck following that. No, I'm kidding. It's always nice to take a break from the verbal speaking and share video. So I think this was
Sure.
another good one.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
With that being said, though, it's your time. Is this something completely different? Are we on the same top? Is it gonna?
It's international, but it's something completely different.
Let's try to get the music going. Last story of the night. Nope, can't hear you yet.
At
Can't
one
hear
time,
you
it
yet.
worked.
Yeah, it was really weird. It was like got us a level of comfort we shouldn't have got. Am I coming through okay now? Then you should be.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'll mute up.
Alrighty. All right. So this is Japanese hotel hidden camera. I arrived in Tokyo after a long flight, exhausted and in need of a place to rest my head. As I wandered through the busy streets, I stumbled upon a capsule hotel. If you haven't heard about them before, they're basically a type of budget accommodation popular in Japan where you sleep in a tight coffin-like pod. It's obviously not the most comfortable way to sleep, but I was intrigued by the concept and I decided to give it a try. As I walked through the doors of the hotel, the smell of cleaning products and the sound of muffled chatter filled the air. The receptionist, dressed in a traditional Japanese kimono, greeted me with a polite bow and led me to my pod. The pod was small and compact, with just enough space for me to lie down and sleep. The walls were made of plastic, and the roof was a soft cushion that was pretty much molded to my body. But the bedding was surprisingly comfortable, and the blanket was thick and warm. Nevertheless, despite my exhaustion, I couldn't ignore the feeling of being trapped. The pod genuinely felt like a coffin, suffocating and claustrophobic. I tried to calm myself down and get some rest, but I knew it was going to be difficult. What made things even worse was at that night, as the night went on, I started to hear strange noises coming from outside my pod, sounding like footsteps and whispers. But when I opened the curtain to look outside, there was no one there. I just laid back down in my pod, and after an hour or so, my exhaustion eventually took over, and I drifted off to sleep. It wasn't until the next night, however, as I climbed into my bed, I noticed a red light on the wall next to my curtain. At first, I thought it was some sort of decoration. As the night went on, the light persisted. I started to feel uneasy and paranoid, so I reported the red light to the hotel staff. They assured me that it must have been a mistake and that it would be taken care of. But when I crawled back into my pod that night, the red light was still there. I observed it closer and compared the light to the light on my camera. It was an identical match. I felt a chill run down my spine as I realized that someone had put a camera in my pod. I knew I needed to do something, but I was too scared to move. The thought of confronting whoever was watching me was terrifying, and I didn't know what they were capable of. But then as I stared down the camera, suddenly the red light went off. I waited for it to turn back on, but it never did. I just laid there in silence, wondering who was watching me and what they were doing with the footage. The next day, I checked out of the hotel and went straight to the police. They took my statement and promised to investigate, but never heard anything back. To this day, the thought of someone recording me while I sleep still plays on my mind. I warn everyone I know never to stay in a capsule hotel, as you never know who might be watching.
Simple story, but terrifying story.
Yeah, I felt like that was a different taste. Like all the other ones were like monsters and stuff like that for me. And I thought this one will be different because this is something realistically human to do. They're always weirdos recording people in hotel rooms and stuff like that. Uh, Being in a coffin hotel makes it even worse, in my opinion, because you're in like
They
this.
call it that because the size of the pod is tiny, or
Yeah, so usually they're in like a wall, like a bank of rooms in a wall, and you
Mhm.
kind of just like climb in and you close the door, and that's it. You just have this like little pad that you're laying on, and sometimes some of the bigger ones have a little TV at the foot, by your feet, that you can kind of look down at. But yeah, you're just like sleeping in a little capsule.
I don't know if I could, man. That's pretty scary.
Yeah, they're apparently dirt cheap though. That's why people do them. Is like in condensed areas like Tokyo, they only have so much room. So like the
Yeah.
really budget hotels, they're capsule hotels there. And yeah, I was just thinking like if this was like a sort of like a hostel kind of thing, right? Where
Yeah.
they're filming uh tourists for someone's weird
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
And so like this really kind of seems spooky and weird. And the fact that after he was staring at it for a little bit, that it turned off finally. Like they
Like it was
realized that,
watching them. They were
yeah,
watching him watch them. Yeah.
yeah, and they finally realized, well, this guy definitely knows that we're recording it. Let's turn it off.
As some
Uh,
people talking about their fear of tight spaces. This would definitely add to it. Tight spaces are freaky enough as it is.
yeah, they are. And so I think that's what makes it doubly spooky. Like, because you always hear about people finding cameras in regular hotel rooms, and that's creepy.
Yeah,
But
that's
the
what.
fact
Yeah.
that you're in this like capsule makes it even worse. Like, it's
Wonder how many capsules there are in a place like that. I bet there's a lot.
I don't know. Probably a lot, yeah. But yeah, I just think it's such a weird thing. And you check this, saw they look the same as camera. I wouldn't even need to check it. Like if I saw a red light in the wall right there,
Yeah.
I would be like, yeah, that's definitely camera.
My mind would. Yeah, exactly. My mind would instantly go to that. But what kind of? How long ago did this happen?
This was just a couple years ago, I think.
What kind of camera it is to have for you to have a red light on? Like you don't have to have those on most cameras now.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know.
He talks about it's the same light as his phone. Is that what he said?
It's camera. He was a tourist, so he had a camera. With him.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, when you think camera these days, you instantly
It's
think
just phone.
phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had to think about that. But yeah,
So yeah, I'm guessing it must be like a IR thing or something like that. Some sort
Yeah.
of
because he was laying there, so you assume he was in the dark.
yeah. So, but yeah, that's such a creepy thing, and you know that the people who were filming that were some really creepy people.
It's like the red light from the keyhole story. Oh, that was a good one.
That was a good one. Yeah, I was
That
thinking
was
about-
such a good one. Man, that was a really underrated story. Looking back at all the great stories, that's got to be up there.
yeah, that one you really don't realize how good that one is until the very, very end. Where they,
Yep. When it's over, then it all hits you. You're like, oh my gosh. This is a cool story, though. It could obviously happen to anybody.
yeah,
It's
it's something
just
to
make
keep
you
in
wish
mind.
if something happens like that, and I would suggest anybody else, just pull out your phone and start recording. Whatever you can
Yeah.
pull out and start recording, I would for sure.
Yeah, record it and then give it to the police
Yeah,
immediately.
something. Yeah. Also, maybe later to help you not think you're crazy.
Yeah,
Some of these things, it'd be like you'd start questioning yourself, like, what was this real?
Definitely.
And
and anytime you're in a strange place in a strange hotel, give it a quick once over, look around. You never know what you're gonna see.
I feel like you're sharing some life-changing advice right now.
Yeah, I always try.
I don't think I could be in a tight space. I don't think I'd be comfortable in a tight space like that tight.
No, probably not.
But maybe they're used to it. They're like, it's a different world, man. So different area.
I don't think I could get used to it myself, but I would like to see one. Oh, that's cool to see.
I'm not saying I wouldn't like lay in there for a little while, but the whole night, man, that has to mess with your head. that'd make me go crazy laying in a thing like that.
Yeah, no kidding. I would consider it if I had a full room to step out into, like, like a bed built into the wall kind of thing, like
Yeah.
slide into. But yeah, not to just be shut off and in there and that's your room.
Yeah. A nice story to end on. Definitely creepy as heck. There's so
Yeah.
many stories out there. Remember that one story we shared about the camera and the teddy bear thing?
Yeah,
That was a good story too. This
That
reminds
was.
me of that. These creepy camera stories are always good, you know.
Yeah,
And it happens to people all day, every day around
it
the world.
does. And it's always some weirdo doing it, seemingly.
We won't know this one though who was doing it, but
Yeah,
like we did on the other one. But we can only imagine somebody that worked there, maybe doing something creepy.
yeah.
That's
And
probably
they-
most likely, but certainly not it. I mean,
And then the worst part is they could easily say, "Oh, it's for security," and so we have security tapes or something like that.
oh yeah.
Yeah, so that no one would get in trouble for it or whatever.
Would you be able to sleep after that?
No, I would definitely get a different room at a different hotel if I was still in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Or,
So you're saying you at least get out and ask for a different room?
yeah.
I would too.
And if
I
I
don't think I
couldn't
could
get
just.
another room there, I'd probably just leave that hotel and go to another one.
Yeah, I don't think I'd pretend like nothing happened. That's for sure.
Yeah,
But then again, why are they filming? I'm not doing anything. I'm just laying there.
yeah, I know. It just makes it seem even weirder though. Like
Yeah.
they just want to watch you sleep. That seems horrifying.
Yeah, you're not doing anything because you can't do anything in there but sleep.
Yeah,
That's actually extra weird. Not like they're going to get to see anything. You're just sleeping.
yeah,
But some people are into some weird stuff. I don't know, man.
yeah. Apparently,
Viv Game said it. A lot of great stories tonight. Certainly was. Let's go to a clip like we do, and we'll come back and we'll discuss what our favorite story was or the most interesting or whatever we want to
yeah.
talk about. Let's play the video here.
Bottle. Come on, hurry, 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 hurry. Come on, come on. Okay. Hold that one. What are you, a camel? Pull over. No, it's a cardigan, but thanks for noticing. Yeah! Killer boots, man! You fellas were going a little fast back there, wouldn't you say? You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you? Sucking back on Grandpa's old cough medicine?
No, oh no, sir. Oh, no. No,
Yeah, well, what's that? It's against the law to have an open alcohol container here in the state of Pennsylvania. Come on, give me that booze, you little pumpkin pie hair-cutted freak. Come on.
Sir, no, wait. Don't drink.
You'd keep your mouth shut if you knew it was good for you, buddy.
Tic-tac, sir?
I love that scene so much.
Oh,
That's the first movie that guy was in. The cop.
Oh,
I'm trying to think
yeah.
of his name. Oh, what's his name? I can't remember. But that's his first movie.
He's also in that. I think it's called Rocket Man, where
Yep.
he's like goes to Mars. I like that
Mhm.
movie.
He's in a bunch of stuff. It's like that's his big role though in that one.
Yeah,
He has a lot of different stuff where he pops up in movies, and he pops up and there's something about Mary with the 6 or 7 minute abs as the hitchhiker. Remember?
Oh yeah,
That was great.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I don't remember. It was like 7 or 8 minutes. Then Ben Stiller said, "What if somebody comes out with like 6 or 7?" I don't remember what he said. And he was like
Yeah.
freaked out. No, you can't do that.
That was great. That was one of my favorite scenes too in that movie. So I was like really happy
The other
when
one,
it was
I actually watched this movie with my daughters yesterday. That's what
Yeah.
inspired this. It's not like really inappropriate, right? It's a pretty standard comedy movie for around that time, It's
Yeah.
PG-13. But the scene where they go to the rest like that. The bad guy that's after them, they go to that restaurant, and he talks outside on the phone about how he's about to poison them with that rat poison.
Yeah.
And they were eating those hot peppers or whatever. But while he was gone, they put it on his sandwich, and the whole movie he has all those stomach problems, right? He's constantly taking the medicine, and he eats it and just goes down, and they're freaking out. And Jim Carrey starts grabbing his leg. He's like, I know what to do. Just starts grabbing his legs, and like the guy, he's like, get off me. Yeah, kicks him across. Yeah. Then he starts trying to give him mouth to mouth, and he keeps saying, my pills, my pills. Then Harry gets out what he thinks is the pills, and it's the rat poison. Like, open up. Oh, good boy, attaboy. And the guy's like, relieved. Then he looks at the bottle and he sees what it is.
Yeah.
And he just croaks over, and they leave, of course.
Yeah.
But
It's such a dumb moment when they're like, they realize he's dead. And they're just like, well, just leave.
yeah, they did. Yeah,
Slap
the cops are looking for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know why he's doing that with his legs. Like he just starts.
Tried to give him CPR by pumping his legs back and forth. It's so dumb. I love that movie.
Okay, your story tonight. What are you thinking? Which one did you enjoy the most? There are some good ones.
I really like the Black Dog a lot. Just because we've been waiting for a Black Dog song, story this whole time.
Waiting for a song too now.
Waiting for a song, yeah. And we finally got it, and it was great. I also like the Nahul, the Mexican shape shifting.
I see that exact comment. Those two were somebody's favorites. Cemetery School is a great one. Yeah, somebody said their favorite was the balloon. Black Dog. I'm gonna have to go with the Black Dog just because how much we talk about the Black Dog movie. It's hard. It's hard to be topped for us, especially right when we've talked about it and watched it so much. For me, that story was just amazing from the beginning of it to the end. It had me kind of like on the edge of my seat when I was reading it. Like what's going to happen next. The Black Dog is going to jump out,
right?
But you don't know what everything else that transpires because of it. And then the twist that maybe the Black Dog was, like a guardian angel, I think, as it was quoted by some of the veteran truck drivers. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, a little different, and I liked it. Yeah, that was probably my favorite one, just because of the fact it's so substantial for us. Now, other people, who haven't or have no connection to it, they probably think, yeah, it was pretty good, and they might like one of the others. But for me, it was the Black Dog.
Seeing the Black Dog, ain't you?
Yeah,
it's 100% real, dude. Another fun episode. Man, I don't know how we just keep topping these. We do have our schedule out, our live stream schedule. Let me see if I can pull it up here and run through a little bit of it here of upcoming streams. It'll be a little bit here and there. We try to do bi-weekly, but I have to travel for work and life between the both of us. But we will be back on the 16th here in 2 weeks. Then we'll be back on the 7th of October. Then the 21st of October, which I think we determined as our Halloween one.
Yes,
the 21st of October stream will be Halloween. That'll be fun. It's going to be Halloween themed. So once you get to the 21st here, the end of the year, I think we said is all themed, if I remember correctly. Yeah. We've got October 21st, Halloween. November 11th is going to be Thanksgiving. December 2nd, we'll do Christmas. Then December 16th, we'll do probably New Year's stories if we can find some.
Yeah.
Wrap up the year there.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to them. I love this time of year. It's my favorite time of year. So doing anything's always funner during this time of year.
And I think once we hit December, there will be past 1 year, right?
Yeah.
We did our first one in December.
I think you're right.
We were just kind of winging it, seeing it. I think I just had an idea. I was like, hey, do you want to try this? Then we had so much fun. We're like, hey, this is what we're going to do. I do kind of miss the American story. So that was pretty fun too. It had a good run.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think this rest of this year is going to be awesome, dude.
Me too.
We have 2 more recordings, 2 more streams to get some miscellaneous stories out. Then after that, we're going to lock in. It's going to be a little bit difficult, but we're going to have to, I'm sure there's plenty of stories out there, but finding ones that are kind of unique, will be a challenge, but a challenge I'm up to.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Make sure you check out the rest of the content. We do appreciate you coming on live for these streams though, and interacting. Live experience is the best, but post wise, we have it in audio form on all podcast listening apps. I am going to get everything updated this week. I haven't posted on there in a while, but I will. And of course, the video version is on YouTube, and I've started putting it on social media. But obviously, the YouTube's a great place to go. Jeff Townsend Media on YouTube. You can check out all the episodes and clips there, then all the other content I create. And like I said, we do have some groups out there. If you're interested, go to the website. There's a Discord group. We haven't really spent much time on the Reddit and Discord group stuff, but moving forward in the future, it's something we need to focus on. But
yeah, definitely.
Check us out. Look up Your Scary Stories anywhere. Social media wise, Podcast Father or Jeff Townsend, and I'll be posting some scary stuff in the meantime. Any closing thoughts to put this episode to bed, Luke?
Just keep an eye out for the black dog if you're out there driving late tonight.
I can't top that. You definitely, because if you've seen the black dog, ain't you? You know what we're talking about. If you're listening out there and you've seen the black dog, let us know. Please. I need to know. Okay, well, I'm going to end it like we always do. Let me try to find the outro here. I got it. So, yeah, appreciate it. Tune in next time. Keep being you. Keep being great.
Jeff Townsend Media. CG, good night.
And the question is, do I stay here? Will you be back? Are you gonna come back? Will you be back? Are you coming back?